Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall. At AM 630. WMAL.
7:07 on WMAL. Brian Eman and Wilson with you. By the way, about an hour from now, we'll talk to Bill Burton, getting into the president's campaign, what they're seeing, what they're doing, and what they're doing with Bain Capital as well on the campaign trail.
And then
Marion Barry, former mayor, current councilman, joins us at 8:35. We'll talk to him about a slew of topics, including the death of Chuck Brown last night at the age of 75, a music legend in Washington, D.C. So that's still to come here with Brian and Brian. Byron York joins us now from the Washington Examiner, chief political correspondent. Good morning, Byron. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
A couple of things. Let me start off with the polls, because there was a CBS New York Times poll out that came out the other day that showed Romney with a lead, and actually a lead with women as well. Then there was a Fox News, and the White House said that poll was biased. And then the Fox News poll came out yesterday, shows the president ahead of Romney by 7 points, by a pretty good margin. So what do we make of these polls, and was the White House perhaps right about that CBS New York Times poll being a little biased towards Republicans?
Well, I'm not sure the White House is complaining about the Fox News poll.
Yes, of course not.
It's got one more to its liking. You know, my sense is that we're just so far out now, and polls do seem to be jumping up and down. I think there's no doubt in recent months that Romney has made some progress against the president, but a lot of polls prior to the New York Times poll showed him a little bit behind. So I think that's probably where the race is, just about even, and we have two polls that maybe are a little bit too far to one side and the other. It's not unheard of in the polling world.
What do you make of the Bain Capital ad that took place? And by the way, it's our theory, our belief that, hey, they do these things for the media and that they put it out there. They don't put it on a lot of TV stations, but they say that it's an ad that's out there just to get people talking about it, and then it gets free play on, shows like ours and also on the cable news networks on a regular basis. This 2-minute ad attacking Mitt Romney over Bain.
Well, I mean, that is the strategy. You put the ad out. You don't really buy television time for it. You just put it out and hope that all the news organizations will report it, and in the course of reporting it, they'll play the ad. Mm-hmm. There you go. And that's what they did here. I was a little bit surprised at the ad. You kind of think they got to have more than this. It relied basically on news reports on a case, a factory that Bain that went bankrupt after Romney left Bain. It was very much in line with the Newt Gingrich attack on Bain in the South Carolina primary, which didn't work. Of course, that was for a Republican audience. It's for a general election audience. My guess is that Obama will go back to the Bain well at some point, but this was not a really effective rollout, I thought.
Yeah, let me ask you about just add to that theory that they don't do much of a media buy. It gives the media something to chew on, but I think that those serve another purpose when the campaign does them. I think it serves a purpose that says to the PACs, this is the issue we want to hit right now, and these are the places that we want to focus on. And then the PACs go out and do likewise.
That's a great point, because the very next day, the pro-Obama Super PAC had a 30-second ad, not a 2-minute documentary, but a 30-second ad focusing on Bain, on the same steel mill that the Obama ad did. And they went out and they really did buy TV time. And Brian, what's unsaid here is that the law prevents the Super PAC and the campaign from coordinating their attack. So what you're saying is, well, the campaign just puts out this big signal, and
it's like a smoke signal said, bird dog here and go here and go here. We think this is the topic and these are the places. And then amazingly, the next day, the PACs are doing that.
It's interesting. You can do in public what you can't do in private.
Isn't that interesting?
Send out this big signal. But if the day before you had actually called up the Super PAC people and say, this is what you want you to do, that would be breaking the law.
But see, and we were talking about this yesterday. I don't understand why that's the law. Why not just let them talk to each other and let them, operate as one unit? Because then you can't, because this is what Romney was criticized, is that, well, your Super PAC's out there with all these negative ads. He's, I can't do anything about that. I'm not allowed to talk to them. If you allow them to talk, then you can say, hey, this is part of what you're doing.
Well, this is part of our whole insane campaign finance structure. I mean, a lot of people, including me, have believed that we don't need all of these different limits. You should just have immediate disclosure, like In other words, immediate disclosure. It's Thursday. If somebody gave somebody $10 million on Tuesday, we would know about it. But we have this crazy system now, and it leads to exactly the sort of odd dances that we're seeing in public.
All right, let me throw out some other poll things that are sort of. I'm going to cherry pick through a bunch of polls here. Okay, I'm just going to admit that up front. Obama and Romney tied in Wisconsin. Governor Walker up by 6. There is a poll that suggests that Romney may be leading in North Carolina by as much as 8. Generic congressional ballot, Republicans plus 6. Stu Rothenberg says. It's sort of a column where he debates himself, but he suggests that Pennsylvania may be in play in November. What do you draw from all these things?
Well, Wisconsin, I think Scott Walker is making progress with his campaign pitch is basically, this is working. What I did is working. It's saving people money. It is not costing people jobs, but it is saving the public a lot of money. And here are the examples, A, B, C, D. And so I think he's finally having some progress with that. North Carolina, not a very surprising poll because that is of the take back states, of the states that Romney has to take back from Obama, that Obama won in 2008. Virginia and North Carolina are those key ones. They're probably the two most vulnerable. Pennsylvania, as far as Republicans are concerned, Pennsylvania is one of these states that always looks just sort of possible. If we just really put a lot of money into it, if we really worked hard at it, maybe we could win it, and then it goes Democratic. So, a lot of Republicans view Pennsylvania as just something that's nice to talk about, but in the end it's going to go Democratic.
All right, do you got any more insight about this meeting yesterday with John Boehner and President Obama at the White House over the debt ceiling?
The hoagie meeting?
Yeah, the sandwich summits or whatever you want to call it.
I haven't had one of the sandwiches. Have you?
No, I haven't. I would like to have one, though.
Yeah, I know. People speak highly of them. No, you're not going to have any sort of deal or bargain or anything in this election year. I mean, the posturing has already begun for the debt ceiling negotiations that will take place after the election. And, of course, we have no idea what the dynamic is going to be after the election. Is Obama going to be recently empowered by his reelection, or is he going to be a lame duck? Are Republicans going to control the House? We don't know any of
that. Time after the election, after November 6th until January 20th, if there is a new president, could be amazing because there's a possibility that you have to raise the debt ceiling, and you also have the Bush tax cut set to expire on January 1st.
And boy, didn't we all know that when they had this Bush tax cut extension deal and said, it'll end at the end of 2012, and you think, well, what might be happening at the end of 2012? So, I mean, this is a bomb that Congress laid, and set the timer to go off at this time. So it's going to be very ugly. But the weird thing is we know what positions Republicans have and Democrats have, but we don't know their relative positions of power.
I just want to close out by saying we count on you at the Washington Examiner to give us good political coverage. I have stand quite impressed with the job that the Washington Examiner is doing in coverage of Maryland politics, Montgomery County Council, the District of Columbia. It's good old-fashioned beat reporting, and whoever's out there doing and digging in those, they're doing great work. It's not being done anywhere else.
Well, thank you so much. Obviously they hired me, they hired Michael BYRON and Tim Carney and some people who comment on national politics. But we make a very, very big effort in local news, and we think we're doing actually the best job of anybody in local news. You get that. You go to your metro stop or you go to a downtown box, and you get the Washington Examiner, and we want people to read about local stuff when they pick up the paper at their metro stop.
Well, you're blowing the pants off the Post, that's for sure. All right, Byron, great to talk to you as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you.